A wanderer is a being from a higher density or realm who incarnates on Earth as a human in order to aid humanity. In looking at life on this planet, it soon becomes apparent that there are stages or levels of consciousness with increasing complexity at each succeeding stage. I mean, all the way up from inert matter to cellular life, to plant life, to animals, to humans. The law of one cosmology indicates that there are stages of consciousness development beyond the human stage, beyond the physical realm. And in those higher realms, which Ra calls densities, there are beings who populate a more light-filled environment that is much less illusory than our physical plane of existence, where the unity of creation is much more apparent and experienced. Beings of these higher realms see our population here on planet Earth, and they see the widespread sorrow and confusion and suffering and the cry of distress emanating strongly from this planet. Any study of history or survey of our present moment reveals countless reasons why we are in such a state of distress and suffering. And upon hearing these calls for help, beings of this density, of these higher realms rather, decide that the most powerful and important way they can help is not from a distance, but up close. So they make the decision to incarnate here on Earth fully as a human being. Born as a human, they become human, totally forgetting who they are, what their origin was. The underlying reason for this mission, you could call it, this birth on Earth, being to serve humanity, to help, as Ra calls it, lighten the planetary vibration, to be a representative of love and light. The challenge to the wanderer is significant. The third density experience is a protected one. Those of other densities and realms are limited in their interaction with Earth due to the necessity to protect the free will of those on this planet. So part of that protection involves the wanderer taking on a contract, you could call it, whereby upon being born into this world, they must forget who they are. They must become as human as human can be, fully human in body and mind, lest they become like gods or special or other than humans. So the challenge then is that the wanderer could forget its mission altogether, could be swept up into the karma and the disharmony and the warlike patterns of separation of this world, and need to undergo third density all over again without being able to return home. One of the commonmost challenges to the wanderer is a deep sense of alienation. Obviously, our society, particularly Western society, is structured such that individualism is emphasized, and we are, through our technology and the way we live, all separated from one another. So loneliness and alienation are pretty widespread, wanderer or not. In the case of the wanderer, however, they have come from a light-filled realm wherein they were one with their planetary population, wherein there was no veiled consciousness, so the thoughts of all were open to everyone. And they come here to this world where they are cut off from the whole, and particularly in the way our economies are structured, where they must fend for themselves without the nurturance and love that was so common and known in their home density. So the alienation of the wanderer is particularly keen due to the contrast between this world and the dim subconscious memory of their home environment. There is no surefire way to prove whether or not you are a wanderer. No test. There's no authority on this planet that can say, yes, you are indeed a wanderer. Some people, much to my own fascination, are born with a sense of knowing, actually. There are people in this world who, prior to encountering any information about wanderers, are born with a deep sense of knowing that they are not from this world. Some even have very distinct memories of their home environments. But for the rest of us who aren't born with this knowing, there are some means to gain some information. For instance, you could have a past life regression that takes you into your soul's history beyond this life. You could have dreams, or you could seek the answer to that question in meditation. Our sense of it is that chances are, if you're asking yourself that question, and if you resonate with the concept, particularly if you resonate with the law of one, likely you are a wanderer. Most people that we know think that it's likely, but they don't know. And we know others who read the law of one who, aren't concerned with the question at all. It doesn't confer, and shouldn't confer, really, any sort of special status to be a wanderer. To think that you are other than your immediate acquaintances, your loved ones, those of this planet, is to really miss the point of being a wanderer. It is a humble service, not an elevated service. In our understanding, the two key reasons that knowing you are a wanderer could be helpful are, one, first and foremost, that knowledge of wandererhood underscores that the very purpose of your incarnation is to be of service to others. Literally, the reason that you are here in this world, on this planet, at this time, is to radiate love, is to open your heart, is to practice acceptance and forgiveness and serve others. Let me say, this service, of course, can happen on multiple levels, but most fundamentally, this is a service of being. Wanderers seed themselves in this world to be lighthouses in the darkness. Again, this doesn't mean being special. Any human who opens their heart becomes a light in this dark world. And as light does, it casts out the dark. So the more awakened lights there are, the brighter, literally, this world becomes. The second key reason that it could be helpful knowing you are a wanderer is that for many in this world, they have a certain symptomology that stems from the profile or the difficulties of being a wanderer. They may question their own sanity. They may not understand why they feel so different from other people. I personally think that quite a few people in psychiatric institutions are likely wanderers. So knowledge of being a wanderer can be helpful in that it helps one to put the life into a perspective that brings meaning and order in a way that was previously unavailable from any other framework of understanding the self. Finally, and we've seen so much testimony of this, actually, people discover what it means to be a wanderer, and finally their life makes sense in a way that has never happened for them before. And then with that orientation, we tie back into the first reason, that then they know that their life is one of service to others through love and acceptance.